Well, we have just received our first shipment from Japan of pots from Tokoname. A few more boxes than we thought it would be. Excited to see what's actually in there though. And whether the sizes and the finishes are right too, because it's always different looking at a catalogue or a website. It's like one of those Russian dolls. It's just boxes within boxes. Just after we've cleaned this place up. Ooh, okay. So these are lots of little ones. Must be 2. Yeah, 2 I think. Oh no, maybe not. Oh, damn. That is huge.
Huge. Pretty ideal for maybe that crypto forest.
Yeah. First one, big Nanban. This would be what, the 45 centimeter?
It's no less than that, is it?
It's huge though. That's crazy. Better finish than I was hoping for as well.
Yeah,
you know how we were worried about it was a bit like semi-glossy sort of?
Yeah.
Oh, there was another one in there.
Yeah, there's another one. No. In the end,
Is that the smaller, shallower ones? Number 2. More shallow Nanban, smaller size. Another big Nanban.
that must be it. So I was ordering stuff in tubes.
Yeah.
So that's sort of...
So a slightly smaller size? Yeah.
Is it?
There should be, so that must be the 51.
Is it 51?
51.
Yeah, right.
And then a 47.
That's
and then,
right. It's almost deeper, doesn't it?
which it might have been, because remember there were some weird dimensions.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
3 more sizes, 4 more pots. Ooh, I think these are the unglazed. Oh, Jesus, look at that.
Oh, whoa. That looks like a sushi platter.
Japanese packing at its finest. My lord.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Nice.
What are you after?
I think these are going to be some little unglazed ones. So I tried to go for like a mixed bag with this order, different sizes, some glazed and unglazed. I think these 2 will be the same. A little unglazed. So I got 2 of these. So this will just be the other one. Number 2. I was going to say, am I missing a box? But no, it's hidden behind copious amounts of cardboard. So it should be a mix of glazed and unglazed in here. Oval unglazed in a darker clay, which is actually really, really nice. That darker clay.
Oh, yeah, cool. That's nice, man.
And this is glazed.
I like that glaze.
Yeah.
So nice.
How's it going, mate?
How you going?
So this is the Bonsai Gallery.
That's it.
I thought this is where they had a drink session.
Only on Friday nights.
Yeah. Oh, you do. You gotta know this code word for that.
The other drawback is I've got to drive the bus.
It's a bad combo. I think it's frowned upon.
Yeah, that's right. That looks good anyway. Do you guys run this separately to that or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Ah, that's an interesting place. Alright guys, have a good day.
You too, mate. Last pot of the order. Slightly redder clay band through the middle there. Nice shape though. Nice size too.
See ya. Oh, we're getting Satsuki's brought in right now.
Oh.
And I remember I told you,
That's right. Yeah, they were trying
hit
to.
me up. They're like, oh, we got these Bonsai for you. I mean, I don't know that they're going to be anything good, like as in...
They're only real young, aren't they?
I don't know. I think young, and even if they're not young, I don't know that they're great material.
Yeah, okay.
They asked me, are you going to turn these into bonsai? I was like, wow, I don't know. But I really just wanted them to start doing cuttings.
Yeah, use them as mother plants.
Yeah.
So the next piece of material we have is this redwood. It's a spring frost variety, so slightly bluer foliage. It has been cut back to a stump. So I'm going to dig into the nabari, see what that's looking like, and find a new leader to build that taper off. Or eventually even we might have to do some carving if we want to get rid of that stump. But for now I'm just going to try and find the nabari, see what we have to work with down there. So we'll get it out and we'll see what it looks like. Ah, what a cutie.
Yeah.
Hey little guy.
Bonsai gallery been here?
We officially opened in February, so not that long now. We were in Sassafras, just down the road.
I told you that.
Yeah.
It'd be the one from Sassafras.
It is, yes. It just sort of worked out in timings that we could make the move over here, and here we are. So we're still sort of setting up. We've still got a bunch of stock still to bring in, but we're pretty much all set up now. Yeah. It's been a long process because I'm guessing you saw what it was before. There wasn't much here,
Yeah.
so we had to build all the structures and everything like that. So it's been a process, but we're here finally. Yeah, definitely.
And they're all okay outside, it's not a problem.
No, perfect outside. Yeah, we want to keep them outside. Certain species can be inside, but pretty much same as your garden trees. Outside is best. Yeah. We will bring in some shade cloth for some of the deciduous trees over summer. But otherwise all the conifers and evergreens, they can all handle being outside, full sun.
Always a bit cooler up here, isn't it?
It is. That's definitely helps, which makes it such a prime area for bonsai and growing in general. Perfect climate for it. So a little bit cooler, a little bit more humid, perfect sort of temperature for growing.
What were you doing for that?
I'm going to try and get it out of the pot.
And then you cut the roots more?
No, not at this point of the season. It's a bit too late to do any sort of root work, but I really just want to get in to the base of the trunk and find where it flares at the bottom, because that's very important in bonsai, is to have a nice solid base and then that taper comes up. Being nursery stock, I have no idea what it's going to be like under there. Probably going to be digging down to about here, find a nice base to work from and then start from there. And this is all pretty much new growth. You can cut it back to nothing and they'll just shoot like crazy. So it's a redwood. Yeah. Slightly bluer. It's a spring frost variety, so slightly bluer foliage.
A big American one.
It is, yeah. So this is your California redwood, and this is a coastal redwood. So you can see the difference in foliage color between the three different varieties, but very similar growth habits. So I think this has been in this pot for a very long time, so full of roots, which is good. The tree's healthy, obviously, with all this growth. It has a lot of fine roots up here that are all just tangled and matted together, so getting through that is pretty hard work. I'll probably use a mix of a root rake and this rake as well. This one gets in a little bit deeper. We want to try and do this from the base of the trunk out towards us. We don't want to try and go across roots. We want to try and bring them out radially. Opening up this as well, I don't know if you can see in camera, but it has quite a nice bark to it already. Yeah, so I'm trying to dig through to actually find where it flattens out. Thinking it's probably going to be somewhere around here that we actually get to where it starts to flare at the base, which in bonsai, that's one of the most important things. So trying to find a good trunk base where it meets the soil. We want to try and make that thicker and stronger. So trying to find that at the moment. I do. Thanks. So this section here, I think this is all Nabari. So I'm hoping to try and find that the whole way around. So that is just a bit of the process of uncovering a Nabari from nursery stock. You can see the differences and challenges between each tree, each species as well. Uncovering it, seeing what you're working with, getting rid of what's detrimental to it, even if it's not very nice for the tree in terms of its design. On this species, hopefully we can rectify that pretty easily and pretty quickly. It loves to shoot from everywhere, so I'll pretty much just cover up that ball of Nabari. I'll let everything else up here be able to get a lot of sun and air through it. Hopefully that will promote budding and growth in that area. How you doing? They're cool, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're filming yourself.
Yes. Yeah. So I post on YouTube bonsai stuff. So yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, you film a lot of sequences, and then later you cut it and
Pretty much.
fit it
So
together.
yeah, I'll film like a full day, and then I'll just come through and I'll cut it all up into about 20-25 minutes. So it's a lot of footage to get through on a day, but
People.
yeah.
I have a small question
Yep.
concerning the other plants.
Yep.
Some have a little how it's called, like a cup.
The little baskets.
Baskets.
Yeah.
With some small thing.
Yeah, so
pills in it or
Yeah,
something.
that's our fertilizer.
Fertilizer.
Yeah.
Fertilizer,
Yeah, our slow release fertilizer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some species we don't want to fertilize at certain times of the year,
Yeah.
so it's much easier just to grab a basket off and take the fertilizer away. So we
Yeah.
use a liquid fertilizer every
Okay.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
But sometimes on certain species as well, we don't want to fertilize when it's growing,
Yeah.
because we want to keep the leaf size small. So if we were to fertilize that with all the nitrogen, it's just going to make that leaf really large as it grows. So we hold back often in the start of spring, and then probably late spring, early summer we'll fertilize, and then again in autumn we'll fertilize.
You need to have a lot of experiences in this. Huh?
Yes, yeah. Particularly some of the older stuff, you need to know what you're doing. Yeah.
And what about water? How do you know how much water each plant needs? Really?
How much water isn't so much of a question. It's more how frequent.
Okay.
So if you were to water a tree or any of these, you can soak it with a hose for 10 minutes if you wanted to, because all it's going to do is it's just going to drain through the soil, and it's just going to keep draining through. Whereas if you were to do that 5 times a day, that's way too much water, because it needs to absorb that water
sure.
and then dry out a little bit and then water it again, and that promotes the root growth. Whereas if you were to just pound that with water for 5 times a day, that's too much. But if you were just watering once or twice a day, depending on the weather, so today we'll probably
when
water
it's dry.
twice. So I've done one in the morning, and then I'll go through and see what's dry and water it again. But even on a day like this, if I was to water 5 times a day, it's still way too much. Yeah.
It's quite often, huh?
It can be, yeah. Again, it depends on the tree, depends on the size.
Depends on the tree.
Depends on the size pot that it's in. Depends on the age of the tree too. Yeah, there's varying factors.
the age.
But generally, spring, summer, at least once a day. Yeah.
Once a day.
Yeah.
And the creation of the bonsai trees continues in this garden all the time.
Pretty much, yeah. We'll either be creating, or so I'm about to go through this one and just wire out all the branches, get it into some sort of shape, and then let it develop into that shape. So that's definitely a long-term project, but you got to start it pretty early. And all these branches are all this year's growth. So I'm a very vigorous tree. It's a redwood, so it just loves to grow. So super malleable. You can do whatever you want at this stage. So now's a good time to get wire on it and put all of that movement and angles and stuff that you need to.
That's a science.
Or it will not break.
Yeah.
Not
will
break it.
Break it.
Yes.
Break it.
Yeah.
Break it. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries.
Good
No
luck.
worries at all.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you very much. It's a Saturday here today. nice and hot in Melbourne. I think it's going to be about 33 degrees Celsius today. So we're back today and we're just going to go through and start the styling process on this tree. So we figured out where the best base of the nabari is, which is somewhere around here. At this point in time, it doesn't have to be super exact. We're going to be cutting off a lot of these thicker branches anyway, so it shouldn't matter too much. Hopefully, doing this cutback now, we're going to see more growth in the spaces. We'll start working on getting rid of what we don't need, which is a lot of this thicker stuff. Redwoods at a young age or with young growth, they will grow upright. They just want to get to the sky, they just want to reach the sunlight. Some of the younger stuff might stay. It's much easier to wire into place. Still very flexible. A lot of these on this angle, you're never going to fix that. These can handle being cut back to nothing, which this was originally. All of the original growth on this to get it to this thickness has all come off. This is all this season's growth, so what? 2 months of growth, and it's already created all of this. So cutting back to nothing or very minimal isn't going to be detrimental to the tree. If anything, it's going to produce better growth that we can wire into place. So now we can just go through and just get rid of all the clumps of growth. Try and find ones that are better suited to a downward angle. There's a crew of us, 2 of us here full time, and then another 3 or 4 that help out. Yeah, it can be, yeah, definitely. Generally, by the time you've gone around the nursery, the first one needs doing again. So, yeah, thank you. I'm just going to dig into this nabari a bit again because I did actually forget to mark exactly where I wanted the front to be, but I have a general idea. I think it's somewhere right in here, so probably this one will be good to lead off of. So you can start to see we're getting some sort of branch formation now. We'll start to get a bit of wire and get some movement into it. Some nicer angles. Just do a little mark like this, so I know the general vicinity of it. It's going to be in through here. Nice lower branch here, which will be good. And come up into the next one. We've got one out the back here, one out the back here too. We'll cut these back because we know we're not going to need them. But anything that already has a established upward angle and is too old to easily manipulate, probably best just to get rid of. Because as I said, this thing is just going to go absolutely nuts, particularly after this prune. We're getting a lot more light, a lot more air into the tree. So you can start to see where we're going with this long term. Obviously here is very empty, but we're going to get shoots all around this section.